What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. If it's geeky, if it's nerdy, I love to talk about it here. Right now, I'm going to give you guys my review of the Peacock original movie, Psych 2, Lassie Come Home. Now, in my household, we're big Psych fans, especially my wife. Right? Like, Psych, I enjoy it. It's probably not one of my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. It's definitely one of my wife's top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. It might be her first. She loves Psych. And so I'm going to tell you kind of what she thought of it, and then tell you what I kind of thought of it. As somebody who enjoys Psych, I've seen the entire series. I've seen the first movie. I saw the Psych musical. You know, I've seen all the Psych stuff. But I'm not like a hardcore Psych fan, like somebody like my wife is. So I'll tell you what I thought. I'm going to kind of give you her thoughts on it, and then we'll just talk about it a little bit. So, Psych 2, Lassie Come Home was something that I felt had its moments of comedy. I thought that it had its moments of entertainment. For the most part, I thought that it felt very made-for-TV-ish, which it is a TV movie, but Psych the movie, Psych the musical, you know, those things had kind of an elevated production value to them. And I felt like this one really felt more like a TV show than a movie. It didn't quite have that same production value as Psych the movie or Psych the musical did. And a lot of the jokes really fell flat. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just the whole idea. You know, the gentleman, what's his name? The guy that plays Lassiter, Tim Amundsen, I think I said that right. He had a stroke a couple years back, and I think that he's still recovering from that. So the whole situation that he was put in this movie was as somebody who was recently shot, a cop that was recently shot, and this movie dealt with his recovery to that. And they even mentioned that while he was in surgery for being shot, he had a stroke. So I felt that this movie was rather boxed in with the idea that they decided to make a movie around the Lassiter character, given the fact that Lassiter, the actor, has had a lot of health issues lately. So I'm not ragging on anybody for having health issues. You know, of course I wish him the best, and I love the idea that they wanted to include him in this movie. I'm just not sure that it was the right thing to center the movie around him when his acting ability right now is being constrained by his health issues. You know, he was usually sitting. He was, you know, every time we saw him, he was in hospital. You know, he was in hospital mode. So, I don't know. I just didn't love the whole plot surrounding him. I would have loved to have seen him play a supporting character. But having it all center around him it just made it feel a little smaller to me. And I was really excited about Psych 2. I thought that maybe we'd have this big adventure with these characters, and it turns out that it felt pretty small. And I love Sean. I love Gus. You know, the actors that portray them, James Rhodey and who plays Gus? Dule Hill. They're hilarious, and their chemistry together is phenomenal, and that's why Psych has worked so well over the years, and nothing has changed. These guys are still funny, and their chemistry is still great together. Corbin Burnson was used in a limited role this time around, and honestly, Maggie Lawson, who plays Jules, she was used kind of sparingly this time around. But it was really nice to see these faces pop up. Even the coroner. And I forget the coroner's name now. I don't see it here. I'm sure it's there. But even the coroner is great. And he pops up a few times in this movie, and he's funny. But guys, I don't know. It just felt small. And it felt very, very made for TV. Some of the jokes were good. The chemistry between Gus and Sean is still fantastic. The chemistry between Sean and Jules was still very good. it just felt, some of it just felt forced, especially some of the comedy. Which, like I said, a lot of the comedy did land, a lot of it didn't land. There was this whole joke with a severed hand that was early in the movie that just didn't land for me at all. And it was early enough in the movie that I remember thinking, we're in for a long watch here. This is gonna be a long hour and a half. Now, granted, the good news is that it did pick up, and it had its high moments, and then it had some low moments again. But for me, it just didn't work the way that Psych and Psych the Musical worked. And the TV show was great. Now, my wife, being a big Psych superfan, she really liked it. So, what do I know? What do I know? Obviously, she really liked it. She had fun with it. She wants to watch it again. And there you go. So, if you're a Psych superfan, I guess there's a good chance you're going to like it. Because she really had a good time watching it. She laughed quite a bit. I would look over at her on some of the stuff that I thought was funny. I'd look over at her and she was laughing, and then some of the stuff that I thought was cringeworthy, I'd look over at her and she was laughing. So what do I know? Overall, I think that this could and should have been better. But again, what do I know? Me personally, I'm gonna give Psych 2 Lassie Come Home. I'm gonna give it a C. It had some nice stuff involving Lasseter's character, especially involving his dad, his history, etc. Joe Hale. It is Joe Hale, right? Yeah, it's Joe Hale. For some reason he's not listed in the credits. He played Lasseter's dad in flashbacks. Really cool stuff, especially if you're a fan of the show. But again, I got to give it a C. It had its moments. It had its moments where I laughed. It had its moments where I was entertained. But it just felt small, and it felt very contained into this little box. And that could be fine if everything contained in the little box was great. But for me, not everything contained in that little box is great. A lot of it was cringeworthy, and a lot of it was just a little dull. A lot of it was funny too. So take what I have to say with a grain of salt. You might, if you're a Psych fan, you might want to think about what my wife thought of it a little bit more. She loved it, not me. But hey, I'm just one person. She's just one person. What did you think of Psych 2 Lassie Come Home? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you later.